and Richard Rapport. The position is around even. It's a knight versus bishop endgame, but pawns are on both sides of the board. So bishop generally does better than a knight because it's a long range piece. However, here you can see that the pawn is on a light square, so the bishop can't really attack it. The knight is well placed, the black king is well placed, although the white king is slightly more active, trying to get in via here. Nodirbek plays his bishop to a5. 37 minutes for Nodirbek, he has a lot of time. Richard has 8 minutes, 4 more moves until they reach move 40, and then Richard would also get 30 minutes, so time not really an issue. He goes knight e7, which is a nice move. He does open up the path for the king. King f4, good move. You can't stop the king here because of bishop d8, and then I'll enter here. So knight c6 played, attacking the bishop. And now black wants to come to f6, so it does make sense to stop him with bishop c3. And now comes a very key moment, because here it's very important for black to push the pawn to b4. There are multiple reasons for doing the same, but this is a very, very important move. It's the only move, but Richard Rapport goes wrong. He goes a5, and what he's trying to do is trying to trade off a few pawns and hoping that he will sacrifice his knight for the h pawn. But it's not going to work out, because now king g5 is a very, very strong move. We'll try to analyze why b4 is the right move after the game is done, because it's a little bit complex. King g5 played here by Nodirbek, and now he's winning, but it's not so simple and trivial. a4 played by Rapport, and now king takes on h5 could be possible, but b4 is the best move, because if you take here, then I go b4, and after the bishop moves ab, and this becomes a weakness, so it's not a great idea. b4, fantastic play. Knight e7 played here by Richard. King takes on h5, and the idea of black is to block the white king with king f5. You can see Nodirbek looking very confident. First, the bishop is attacked along with the pawn. bd2 played here, a very good move, because now you take control of the important f4 square. Also, the bishop now controls all the movements of the knight forward. King f5. And if you go king h6 here, there's king g4, h5 and knight f6. You lose the pawn, so no hurry here. First a3, and this is a zugzwang like position, because if the knight moves, I come up, and which the knight has to. If the king moves, the king would have gotten out, so knight b6, and now it's time to move the king to h6, and he finds it. King h6, very good move. The knight jumps to c4, attacking the pawn as well as the bishop here. And Nodirbek again finds a great move, bishop c3. He is not afraid of giving up this pawn. He takes away the f6 square from the black king. Knight takes a3 by Rapport. But you can already push the pawn to h5 now. Yes, h5 on the board. And these positions, Nodirbek is an absolute beast when it comes to calculation. Knight to b1. And now two moves are winning. One is bishop d4, the other is bishop a1. Nodirbek finds bishop a1. Because bishop b2, there is a3 already. Now the knight has to get back to stop the pawn, because white's plan is simple. King g7, h6, h7. So knight d2 played. Okay, you have to play king g7. Plays it, and now the knight can get back to stop the pawn. So all that black has to do is sack his pawn for the h pawn, and it's a draw. because then the black king would come here, and along with these two pawns he would be able to capture the last white pawn, knight g5. So here h7 would be a grave error because take it's a draw. So that's the reason why bishop b2 is an incredible move, stopping a3 and preparing bishop c1. Check was given here. King g8, and now once again h7 is threatened. So knight to g5 played, and now bishop c1, attacking the knight, threatening to win material. So bishop c1, good move. And there is no time for king g6 because of bishop takes g5. Plays a3, a very nice move, because if you take here, he wants to go king g6, it's a draw. So he takes a2, and now black is the one who's queening first. But what a beautiful move here by Nodirbek, and Richard resigns here because of king takes f6, h7, and although black queens first, it's white who queens here and wins the black queen. Such an instructive and beautiful endgame, but it's time for us to delve deeper into it and try to understand why is it that Richard had a draw with the move b4, and once we look at it deeply, we will understand a few more secrets about this endgame. And we also have an interview with Nodirbek at the end of this analysis. Specific reason why in this position b4 is the move that works. It's because you are already making this bishop take a decision. Do you want to remain on this diagonal, or if you move away from here, then I'm already going king f6 and stopping your king from coming to g5. So let's say that the bishop decides to remain on this diagonal with bishop b2. Now the most important move is knight to e7, and when you go king g5, I jump with my knight to d5. This serves two purposes. One, that with my king coming in, the knight can really try to attack the h pawn, and the second, which is the knight will jump to c3 and attack the a2 pawn. So let's say if I do wait with bishop c1, then knight to c3 is already very powerful. So you take this pawn on h5, and now a very important move, king f5. The thing now is that king h6 is met directly with king g4, h5 and knight f4, and you lose the pawn. Which is the reason why here, instead of king h6, you can try and wait with bishop c1 controlling the f4 square. But this is where b4 comes in handy. You go knight c3, king h6, knight takes a2. There's no time to push the pawn, your bishop is hanging. So let's say you go bishop d2. Knight comes back to c3, h5, and now a very important move, king f6, and black is able to hold this position to a draw. It was very important to push the pawn to b4 here, but Richard Rapport missed the moment. He pushed a5, and Nodirbek, as you can see, was perfectly able to hold this with bishop d2, win this game with bishop d2, because now the same concept with king f5 does not work, because after a3, this pawn is no longer weak, and I have the idea of king h6 and h5 winning the game.
Hi, at second Oost Chess Cup Masters. Congratulations, Abdusattorov.
Thank you.
Well, it was a wild game. You moved your king to f3, which was quite safe. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, the opening was a little bit surprise for me, as he opted for this Rouser variation. I didn't check it before the game, but I remembered some details, and I had prepared some new direction. I played this bishop b3 and knight a5, f4, queen c7. Here I played g4, and I think the main move is here e5, as far as I remember. And here my idea was to sacrifice a piece with g5, ed, bishop d4, and I was expecting to get this position, but he opted for d5. Yeah, here I I misplayed it a little bit because I had to play e5 and go for this position, but something happened and I took ed, after which we got position in the game, which was very forced and objectively very equal. I mean, nothing had to be done, but as the game proceeded, we got to the bishop against knight endgame, and there I was a little bit confident because I have seen some games in the endgame that bishop can put a lot of pressure, and yeah, I mean, as he played h5, I think after h5 I was even more confident because he created h5 weakness, and I could play it for a long time, and also he was going low on time, but of course objectively it's very equal, and the decisive mistake came in few moves before the first control. He played a5. He had to play for b4 and knight e7, knight d5, as commentators told me after the game. But at that point, I was already feeling like my position is very close to winning. Maybe I was very excited at that point. And after a5, okay, it's objectively lost, and I think I managed to convert it very cleanly. And yeah, I mean, generally, I'm very happy, to score 2 victories in the 3 rounds. I mean, in closed super tournaments, it's very important to score a victory, and also not to lose a game, as +3 or +4 generally is enough to win the tournament. So yeah, I'm really happy.
And yesterday's game against Sindarov, it was quite a tough battle, but you managed to save quite well. You missed a couple of chances. So
yeah, I mean, it was a complicated game. I got into trouble after opening. He was very well prepared, and he came with some new ideas. Yeah, also I had no experience in that line. So yeah, I think my mistake. I think it was I had I should not have gone for this variation against him, because it's very sharp and complicated, and he was well prepared. Yeah, after somewhere in the middle game, I tried to create a counterplay with queen h4, which is objectively bad, but it complicates the game. And after the game, he told me that he blundered the queen g4, but after queen g4, it's also white keeps a very big advantage, rook e1. I didn't think that white's position is that winning, because engine was showing like +2 at that point. It was very surprising for me. I think for him also, because I think misjudged the position a little bit, and okay, I managed to hold the position, but yeah, it was a little bit lucky moment at that game.